Hello guys, and welcome back to another Mage video in the midst of Pandaria beta. This time I'm going to talk about Arcane, and Arcane is really interesting now. They went back to a more of TBC or even more Wrath of the Lich King style of play, which makes it more interesting. So I'm gonna show you first of all the talent trees and all this, the summarization of Arcane. Basically, we have, as previously, Arcane Blast, which is just the same as before, but it now stacks something called Arcane Charge, and it's not only actually stacked by Arcane Blast, but it's also stacked by Arcane Missiles, which is interesting. All the Arcane Charges you get are consumed when you use Arcane Barrage, okay? So Arcane Blast generates a charge, and the damage of Arcane Blast is increased by 25% per charge, and the mana cost is increased by 125% per charge. And by the way, I have disabled the sound because there's so many people here and the sound is just really distracting. So yeah, it's the same old sound, so no need for those, I guess. And a huge ad Warlock bet. Arcane Missiles, it generates one charge and increases the damage by 25% per charge. So it's basically like Arcane Blast in damage increase. Arcane Barrage then consumes all your charges, also 25% damage per charge, and it hits one additional target per charge. This is interesting because I've tried a bit of Arcane. I've been playing around with it, and I think I got a crit, a Arcane Barrage 4-stack crit for almost 100k, and if it can hit 4 additional targets for 100k, that's just insane. I mean, what the hell? What? Yeah, it will be interesting to see. So we have, yeah, Arcane Charge then stacks up to 4 times, lasts 10 seconds, and is stacked by Arcane Blast and Arcane Missiles. Arcane Missiles has also been changed. I'm going to go into that later on. And yeah, we have the normal Arcane Barrage. It's the instant as it's always been. 3-second cooldown. Arcane Missiles. Now, it's like the normal Arcane Missiles, but first of all, there's no mana cost. Okay, 0. Yep, it's only activated by casting, you know, other of your other spells basically. And you can still cast other spells like that are not related to Arcane, like Fire, Frost, and you can actually get procs for Arcane Missiles. But what is interesting is that Arcane Missiles now has a chance to give you 2 Arcane Missiles, 2 like stacks of Arcane Missiles. So you're going to see when I actually play and when I attack this dummy, you're actually going to see like from the spell effect, you know, when something procs, like when Arcane Missile procs. And I'm gonna go back here because people are retards. There we go. You can actually see when you have 1 or 2 stacks of Arcane Missiles. Okay. Yeah, slow, the normal slow basically. It's been nerfed a bit, but it's still really good, especially in PvP. Arcane Power, 20% more damage, and costs less mana, 10% less mana, 15 seconds, and has a 1.5 minute cooldown. I have my obviously my tier 13 set, so it's going to be lowered quite a lot. Okay, we have Mana Adept, which is basically the same thing as before. Increases all spell damage done by up to 45% based on the amount of mana the mage is unspent. For talents, I picked one of the new ones called Ice Flows. I have not tried this yet. I figured I'd wait until I start recording. and this is the one that allows you to cast 2 spells, either channeling or normal casting spells, which is while moving basically. It's not on global cooldown either, which is nice. I have Ice Barrier because I love Ice Barrier. I have Frostjaw, the Silence the Freeze spell or a talent. Cauterize as Arcane. You know, I like surviving, so I love Cauterize. Yeah. And Nether Tempest. Now this is the Arcane version of a bomb ability. It just does damage over time, arcane damage over time, and each time it deals damage, it deals 50% of that damage to all the targets. Sorry, a random target within 10 yards. And it's really weird to have a bomb ability as Arcane. You know, there's a lot of new stuff to work out for all the specs. Okay, so right, for glyphs I have taken some random ones. You know, I have like Spell Steal and the Mana Gem one, 10 charges, and Evocation that heals me, and yeah, just random ones. I mean, they have no real use, so to speak. They no damage increase or anything like it's on live. Okay, I noticed something like in my fire video. I noticed that some things are gone, have been removed. And I noticed that Arcane does not have focus magic anymore. Nope, no focus magic. 0. And since we still love Mastery as Arcane, the new Mage armor increases our Mastery by 5. This is really nice because you have 5 more Mastery, and you're obviously reforging, which I've done. I have a lot of Mastery. But the new Might, the new Blessing of Mine, also grants you 5. So I would have almost 30 Mastery with like buffs as Arcane, which would be like over 50% more spell damage based on my mana. So, and obviously the Arcane Brilliance I talked about earlier or in the previous video, 10% more spell power and 5% crit. So I actually have really fucking shitty crit rating, I think. Do I? 22% crit as Arcane, and I have reforged to Mastery obviously, so that is really nice. Low on hit doesn't matter right now. Haste, not much at all, since we can't use our wands. As I said earlier in the previous video, no more wands, no more stats. Oh. But we still have the shoot ability with our wands, which is interesting. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to start off as well as normal, I think. Let's see, yeah, let's pop Arcane Power, use our Nether Tempest, and we already have 1 charge of Arcane Missile, and 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, 4 stack. Wow, okay. So I'm using my insanely quick Arcane Missiles right there. 1 stack, and clear my stack. I still have Arcane Missiles, but I cleared my stack of Arcane Charges. See? And now I have 2 stacks. So I can use 1 and 2. And you can see that it actually builds, you know, 1 Arcane Missile builds 1 Arcane Charge. And what you need to remember is that you cannot spam Arcane Blast anymore. Yeah, which is really, really hard to learn, to be honest. I mean, 1 Arcane Blast costs 9,000 mana at 4 stacks, which is just insane. So you need to learn to clear your stacks and use Arcane Missiles way more. Obviously, you need to use the Nether Tempest, which is so freaking hard to remember. It has no cooldown, which is nice, and the duration is pretty short. There's yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it's 4 stack now. You see, you can just watch my mana. I mean, look. It's just spamming Arcane Blast. No, does not work. So build Build your stacks with Arcane Blast, Arcane Missiles, use your Nether Tempest. Make sure you have at least one proc of the Arcane Missiles. You really want to have 2 of them. You see, it doesn't clear them. You know, I'm still like, oh, I'll use my Arcane Missiles, but I still have the stacks, you know, and it's really hard to realize that, oh, okay, I see. It's actually it's actually like, it doesn't, like, Arcane Missiles does not clear your stacks anymore, and it's hard to adjust, hard to learn, like, oh yeah, I'm Arcane, I don't have any bomb spell, which I actually do now. So yeah, remember to use your Nether Tempest, clear your stacks, do not spam Arcane Blast, and oh god, it's just so many things to remember. I'm gonna try the ice flows, if I can get some stacks of Arcane Missiles. Maybe, may I have some stack? Yeah, 1 stack. Okay, I'm gonna add there we go. Ice flows. That is cool. That is really useful as Arcane. I really like Presence of Mind, but I'm, you know, the talent on live allows you to gain a guaranteed critical, no, not really guaranteed, but I mean, you get so much crit, like 15% on your next 2 abilities, which is nice, but I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, your next spell becomes instant. That's it. 1.5 minute cooldown. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's worth. I'd rather use this ice flow thing instead. I mean, it looks really cool. I can actually use, oh nice. Wow, okay. Yeah, it's draining my mana like mad, look at that. The problem is that you still have to proc Arcane Missiles, which means you will have to remove your stacks of Arcane Charge. Yeah, because you can't just spam Arcane Blast, as I said, because you will be out of mana. So yeah, but I think Arcane is now way more interesting. I think. I mean, you actually have a proper rotation and a priority, and I think a lot of people who enjoy Arcane will be having a hard time adjusting to this. I mean, I don't like Arcane on live, but I think this is just brilliant. I love what they have done with the spec now. So you're clearing, yeah, you're clearing. You can actually, like, instead of using Arcane Blast, you can just use Arcane Missiles. It might not do as much damage as Arcane Blast, but it generates 1 charge per missile, which means that you're paying no mana to stack your charges. You know what I mean? So instead of like oh, I'm not gonna use my mana to stack my charges, you can just use Arcane Missiles instead. But you know, have to keep trying everything and making sure that, yeah, what are we supposed to do? Like, what's the general idea about DPSing in this particular talent spec, and this what do we do? So personally, I think Arcane is way more interesting. I mean, we have, well, it's not spam AB anymore, and that's it. It's like, yay, congratulations. Which is why I enjoy fire more, because I love setting things on fire. Not in real life, in games. It's only limited to games, don't worry. That is Arcane. No more focus magic, and a lot of you, well, depending on what you pick, you know, whatever you like. I think Ice Flows is just brilliant for Arcane. I'd rather have 2 spells that I can cast while moving instead of having like 1 instant spell. Okay. There will be a lot of moving, as I said in previous video on the boss fights, if you watch or read the dungeon journal.
So yeah, that's it. I will be trying out Frost next, and yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the Arcane Changes. Like Fire is really hard to, you know, adjust to the new changes, especially when there are big changes. But for now it's looking really good. No more focus magic, and more mastery to the people, and yeah, generally looks really nice so far. So I will see you guys for the next video, which will be the Frost one, and I really can't wait to do it because it looks interesting in both ways. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I will see you for the next video.